Okay, so what's going on, guys? We're gonna start out with some of this Sea of Thieves gameplay. So this is my first time playing Sea of Thieves. I've never played it before. Prior to this, like I played a little bit of it, like the training and stuff. But outside of the training and the tutorial, I had never played a match. I had just hopped into a public match before this, and I had grinded with some dude. Well, not even grinded, to be honest. I just sat there while this dude was grinding and throwing in a bunch of chests. So I have like 30k gold coins, but I didn't even know what to do with them. I didn't even know how that was going on. He was just selling everything, and I was just, piggybacking just some random dude. But then I was like, I feel like I'm not really learning the game, so let me actually start it up. And yeah, so the game, I really like it so far. Took us through, all the tutorials, so I kind of knew the fundamentals. The one thing that I didn't know is how to operate my ship, though, so it was a little hard. I kind of just, winged it or wung it, but everything ended up going out for the best. It's some really interesting gameplay for just an hour. Going into this game, I didn't know what to expect, but it was for sure interesting, and we met some interesting people, I can say that. Oh man, this guy was a little weird too. I don't know how to feel about him, but we'll see how that goes. After I talked to this guy, I was like, you know what, I need to go questing. So I talked to some of the guys in town. I only ended up talking to this guy, though, really, and accepting his quest, which was just to, pick up some gold and, a chest. And this is where our journey first begins off. And, it was the first quest I've ever done. Really hard. Well, not even really hard. I'd just say more, more distracting than most quests I've ever done in a game. But I had that 30k, so I'm like, you know what, let's bull out for a little bit, try to get fresh. Got me some new articles of clothing, some new hair dye. I didn't know stuff was gonna be so expensive, but once I had that 30,000 in pocket, I was like, before I die or anything like that, and if I end up losing a shitload of this money, let me just treat myself a little bit. And honestly, I think it was the best decision to make, just going for the cosmetics at first, because those are pretty expensive. I haven't grabbed anything else outside of that though. And yeah, after this I went straight to my ship, made sure everything was good, checking out some of my little emotes. I ran straight over there to get all fresh. And once I got there, it got a little interesting. I was in the middle of changing, and all of a sudden I noticed there was this dude in my ship, and I'm like, yo, I don't know who this man is. Keep in mind, I have this in a closed matchmaking, so it's like there's he could kill me at any moment, and I'm a new player. It's my first time. Like, I know that there's PvP in here. I've seen the footage. I've seen people throwing hands at each other. The one thing that I didn't know is how the fighting mechanics worked in here. I didn't know if they were good or if they were bad, if they were complex, if they were basic. I didn't know how to fight at all. I only played a little bit of the tutorial, so I wasn't expecting much. But so far, it's pretty lit. So I wanted to check out who this guy was. He interesting character. He's honestly probably the nicest person I met out of the group. Doesn't mean to say that he's not a scoundrel though either. Cause all these fools are scoundrels. I feel like these guys are veterans. Look at their clothes. And then this guy popped up too, and I was like, okay, whole lot of gang shit. Got some new people here. This is me. I forget. I was voice chatting with them, and I told them that I was new. And then they basically dipped off my ship. They're like, all right, we're gonna jump back in the water. And I didn't know how to set up sail, so I go up to the top of this thing while talking to these guys, and I'm like, hey, I like your guys' ship, and I like your guys' clothes, trying to keep it friendly. Just thinking, maybe I need to fucking handle some type of business here, because I really didn't understand what was going on. I thought I had to go up here, but apparently I didn't have to. So it felt like a waste of time, to be honest. Ended up handling business. Figured out how to take my anchor down and whatnot. And these guys actually set down my sails. So for me, they were being pretty helpful. And we just took off. So this guy already knew how to help me out. And we were gone. It's that simple. Got 1,000 gold for that. Spoiler alert, more than I got for this fucking mission that I was trying to do in the first place for this voyage. But we'll get to that later. And then Mans kept trolling me a little bit. He was like, you know what? I don't want to leave. So he tried to put my anchor down, but I took off. Homeboy who was next to me though started getting kind of irritated and started like pointing his gun at me and stuff. So I ended up turning us back around, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'll try to take you back to your homeboys. But then they had left, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't really know what to do. It's kind of intense. But I was like, I'll play taxi, so I'll bring you over to your homeboys. And he was super chill about it. He stopped aiming his gun at me, and everything seemed to be going fine once again. Not too long till he caught up to his homeboys either. So it's also pretty interesting. Just shining their little lights at me. I thought they were gonna like scope me like it was Modern Warfare, but this game doesn't work like that. So everything was fine. Very big chill vibes. Definitely dug it. Nobody's tripping. Very lax time. It didn't take us too long till we popped up to an island, and so things got even more interesting. It's the first island I've ever been to. I wasn't even really going anywhere. I was supposed to propose that voyage on my ship, but I was like, fuck it. I'm trying to wild out for a second. Yeah, that's what I did. I found a pig, and first thing I did was murder it. I got some ham. We explored a bit of this island, and shit was pretty cool, but then I noticed that other homeboy was back with us, and I was like, hey, well, there you are. I think he was trying to sneak up behind me. I don't know if he was trying to stealth assassinate me on some crazy shit, but it's like he did not want me to see him. And I'm like, hey, I see you, man. I hear you, man. I may be new, but I'm not that new. Next thing you know, all hell broke loose. Skeletons, everything. Tried to help everybody. Next thing you know, we're in a full-on fight. This fool started hitting me too. Everybody just started ganging up on me. It's horrible. I was like, I gotta run. I gotta dip. This guy shot me. It's horrible. Everybody fucking my shit up. So I was like, we gotta retreat back to the ship. I gotta figure out how to heal. Keep in mind, I didn't even know how to heal at the time. So I figured out it was food though eventually, luckily, and everything ended up okay for a sec. But then this man started trying to catch the fade. He started hitting me. Luckily I knew how to block, but he was pulling that thing on me. I let him know I was a new player though at this point. Again, I was like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, so you're probably just gonna murk me. And he still kept at it. This man was persistent. They were like, you know what, you better hold that block button. I was one tap too. This is horrible. These men are fiends. These are monsters. Next thing you know, we started singing music and played music. I started getting funky though, so that was interesting. I don't know how. It was just weird. It is weird. One moment you're trying to kill each other, next thing you know you're playing music. I think this is the life of a pirate, though. It's a little all over the place. Oh, and then also, yeah, he gave me a bunch of coconuts to eat, so I would not die since I was one tap. So I appreciated that. And we sang some more music. We got down, was handling business. Everything was super chill. Super chill. Had no quarrels, at least for the time being. I started fading some more zombie skeletons on the beach, but then all of a sudden, some crazy shit happened. I still don't know how we died, but just one moment we're chilling. Next moment, we're dead. I don't understand what happened. It was just fire everywhere. I'm not sure if that fool used a shotgun and some crazy shit happened or what. But we all ended up going to Davy Jones' locker, and that was not so fun. It's like, where do we even go from here? Was we supposed to stay on the ship? Supposed to jump off the ship? I figured out about the door right here, and I came back into it. I was back on my ship, only to find some more crazy shit. Like, whose man's is this with a bucket? Completely different person. I don't even know this dude, but you know what? Thanks, I guess. I don't know. I still didn't even know how to use my bucket, so I tried to help as much as I could. But I noticed just hitting it with the bucket was probably not going to be enough. They were going to need some water. There's some wood. We ended up fixing my ship though, and I finally ended up setting up a voyage. I'm like, hey, we're ready to go, ready to handle business. And next thing you know, I start getting fucked up. It just started jumping me. I started getting jumped. Heavy. I don't know what was going on, but the whole squad just started jumping me. Whole squad just fucking started taking shots. I didn't know what to do. The tides have turned. It seems there was treason amongst my ship, and it was time for me to make moves in order to leave. Because these fools they weren't having it, and neither was I, so I had to leave. I had to dip out. After figuring out how to heal some more with some food, I jumped out. Tried to take off on my ship, but they would not let me. They would not let me whatsoever. They were stopping me at every single point. And I remember at this point, I knew something had to be done. I had to take drastic measures. I had to pull a John Wick moment. I didn't know if it was gonna work, but you know, this was my one opportunity. And if I didn't take it, I was probably gonna die, and they were probably gonna take my ship or some crazy shit, or break it, or I don't know. But I had to do the best thing that I could. I tried to bait this guy by thinking that I was gonna go again, but then, boom, it just shot him right in the face. My homeboy was kneeling, I had to take him out too. Can't trust this man. After this, I knew it wasn't long until they were gonna come get me, so I dipped off. And with that, they were inbound. They're inbound. And I made my escape into the sea. Luckily I had a head start, and I think it took them a bit to respawn, so I was able to dip off. Not to say that they didn't chase me for a little bit before they recognized that I was gone. And we were chilling. We were sailing across the seas. No problems, no quarrels. I'm going to Thieves Haven. Well, at least this one spot that I stopped by on. I thought I had seen something in the distance, like a rowboat. So I pulled over, you know, to try and do that. But instead, it's met with some zombies. Skeleton motherfuckers. And not only that, but after they launched me into the water, I was like, you know what, I probably, you know, I'm gonna need some food. And I discovered salmonella is probably not the best way to go about it. And after that, finally was able to find this place for like 30 minutes and caught me some treasure, caught me some of that booty. I figured it out. Keep in mind, this was only like my first hour. You see the timer up there. And with the successful venture complete and me finally getting my booty, I decided, you know, it's time to call it a night. Sailed back to the old port, and you know, I cooked some snakes. Started celebrating. Yeah, got a little too litty on my way back to the market, drinking a little too much. All for 100 gold. You fucking kidding me? What am I gonna do with this? What am I gonna do with 102 gold, man? Horrible.